It's championship time in Arkansas. It's the 2A state title game between the Woodlawn Bears and the Southside B Branch Hornets. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everett Field in Benton, Arkansas. I'm R.J. Hawk along with Bobby Swafford for this 2A title game. And, Bobby, you know, you always talk about the 7A games, the 6A games. You hear about all these kids going to Division I. At the 2A level, they've got all that and more because they've got some power, they've got speed, and this is going to be a fun game.
And they clearly left an email for all the residents, the last one out of town, turn out the lights because this place is packed today. You're talking about two premier small school baseball programs who expect to get to a championship game, and today they're both expecting to win a title.
Well, the history behind the Woodlawn Bears is, I mean, if you know anything about high school baseball in the state of Arkansas, you know about the Woodlawn Bears. This is a team that has been good for a really, really long time.
Yeah, with Coach Tommy Richardson has done with this program, 10 state finals appearances, including today 6 state championships, a handful in just the last couple years. They are loaded, 32-3 on the season. We'll talk about the specific numbers when coming up in just a few minutes, but talk about a program that he built and he got to the top of small school baseball. That's the pinnacle.
As for Southside B Branch, the Hornets are 27-9 this year. Gus Holland's going to be on the mound. He's got a 7-2 record with a 2.41 ERA. 100 strikeouts this year for Gus Holland, and he's only walked 26 batters.
Yeah, he's got command of 4 pitches, and his coach, Jeffrey Ligon, said he likes to implement 4, including a knuckleball and also a changeup that we should expect to see today, especially low and away to right-hand hitters.
By the way, he's done all that work in 52 innings, so ought to be a good one here in Benton as it's Woodlawn taking on the Southside B Branch Hornets. Let's go ahead and give you the battery today for the Southside B Branch Hornets. As behind the plate, you've got Whit Holland. Gage Johnson's at first base. Third base has Drew Raines. Easton Swafford, no relation to Bobby Swafford, is at short with Ryan Matchett is over at second in the outfield. Parker Hutchins is in left. Connor Bice in center. And Baylor Hall is in right field. Your first batter for the Woodlawn Bears is Cale Edmonds, who is going to be the pitcher today for the Woodlawn Bears, who come in 32-3. And the first pitch is a called strike on that inside half the plate.
He's going to pound the strike zone. You mentioned averaging almost 2 strikeouts per inning this season. Gus Holland going to pound the zone.
0-1 is up high. Evens the count 1-1. The 1-2-3 lineup for the Woodlawn Bears has Cale Edmonds, Ethan Gardner, and Jaden Manis.
One thing we're going to hear a lot is production numbers from Woodlawn. You've got 5 or 6 guys in the lineup with at least 25 RBIs, including the 9-hole hitter, so they can swing at 1 through 9, and that's essentially why they've got a 32-3 record. And they're playing for a title here today.
1-2's the count. .317 batting average for Edmonds, who's had 4 home runs this year and has only struck out 15 times. Here's the pitch. It's a chopper over the mound. Tough play at short. They'll get it, and they say it came off. That was a tough play right there for Southside B Branch's Gage Johnson as it pulled him off the bag. The throw did, and his back foot came off the backside or the front side of the bag.
Yeah, they're going to rule that an infield hit. Would have been a tough play, but you can see the throw pulls him off the bag just a touch, not able to get back and get a toe on the bag. And so he's ruled safe with an infield single.
So now that brings up Ethan Gardner, who is the center fielder today for Woodlawn. He's batting .290 with 25 RBI. Works from that left-handed batter's box with a runner on. Pitches up high and outside and takes the count to 1-0. As we talked about for Southside B Branch, the battery today is Gus Holland, and Whit Holland's behind the plate. Gus with a 2.41 ERA as the second pitch sails outside. I think really, Bobby, for Gus Holland is just his command throughout the season. In 52 innings, has had 100 strikeouts as the 2-0 hits him. And as soon as it's almost a broadcaster's curse when you talk about the command. He comes in and bings somebody.
Yeah, you can tell he was trying to work that inner part of the plates, but Ethan Gardner crowding that front of the batter's box. Raised just the front arm in the jersey and gets a free base.
So now that brings up Jaden Manis, who, boy, Bobby, when you look at this, He's got a .518 batting average with 63 RBI.
That's a big number. I don't care how many games you've played. 63 RBIs in just 35 games. So he's a production machine, and you can see the top of the line that gets on base for him. Now it's his job to move him around.
By the way, that last hit by pitch for Gus Holland, that's only his 7th hit by pitch all season long.
Again, no matter where you play, the state title game is always going to bring in a little nerves. You've got to try to settle in. If you're Gus Holland, try to get yourself a ground ball, get your defense to turn 2 for you.
Jaden Manis at the plate. He's only struck out 4 times all year. Swung on and fouled back. You know, we've seen a lot of players come through these state tournaments, these state championship games. But when you just look at the overall numbers of Manis, 4 home runs, 3 triples, 12 doubles, and only, I think the most, outside of everything else, the most impressive thing is he's only struck out 4 times all year. Yeah,
for someone who's got the production that he does, the 4 home runs, the 63 RBIs, you think those are, heavy swing and miss guys. But he certainly puts it in play, and that's why he's in the heart of the lineup. Interesting pick move there behind the runner at first from Holland, but nothing doing.
Got overcast skies today here in Benton. Had some rain move through yesterday. I think there's a slight chance of rain here in the early morning hours, but hopefully all that stays out of here. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and fouled back, and it's the count's 0-2.
And one thing that allows Woodlawn a little variety is as much as he makes contact. You mentioned only the 4 strikeouts. A lot of opportunities to run the hit and run, to put players in motion, because you know that he's going to put the ball in play and not really run yourself into easy outs.
0-2 is the count with runners at first and second. Gus Holland eyes the second base bag. Here's the pitch. Curveball swung on and fouled back.
It's 3 pitches in this at bat. He fouled straight back, so you can tell he's recognizing the ball out of Holland's hand. Gauging the speed. He's right on it, just hasn't been able to square it up.
And really, Bobby, you mentioned it in the pregame, the bag of tricks that Holland has for this ball game. I mean, he's got a knuckleball, got a changeup, got a fastball. Here's his 0-2. Swung on and popped straight up. Going to go out of play. It's counted 0-2.
Woodlawn fans went scrambling after that one. They're going to take one off the head. There's a packed house. A row in front of the bleachers are full with lawn chairs. Down both lines. Standing room only.
.02's the count as Manis is battling here after 4 straight foul balls. Swung on, make it 5 straight foul balls.
Making Holland work. Already 12 pitches to the first 3 batters. Hasn't recorded an out. We saw it last night. 110 pitches is the maximum a pitcher can throw. That's the state mandated pitch count.
.02 on the way. And it's going to sail high. Came with a changeup at 69 miles an hour, and it's 1-2.
I like the idea. Obviously, that one's well out of the zone, but try to make Manis chase something because he's been right on top of your fastball.
1-2, throw down to third, and he's going to be in safe. He slid past the bag, and that's one thing, Bobby, we've talked about with the turf here in Benton, and really turf anywhere. If you're not used to playing on it and you go in head first slide like this, he just slid right past it.
Yeah, you've got to start your slide a whole lot sooner and able to just get back before the tag. of Drew Raines there at third base, but now 2 in scoring position for Manus. Got a chance to add to that already impressive RBI total of 63 on the season.
So Manus at the plate has runners in scoring position. 2-2, swung on, ripped down the left field side and foul. Well, he put a charge into that one.
He did. He is on top of everything Holland's throwing at him. He's able to foul off pitch after pitch. A really good at bat from the slugger of your lineup. Ninth pitch of the at bat coming up.
2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a changeup outside and takes it full. Runners get their leads, and Holland's got the pitch. Here it is. Swung on and missed.
Great job by Holland to battle back and get that punch out.
Only the 5th time this year he has struck out. And Gus Holland takes him down. It's the first out here in the first inning.
A really, really big out, but nowhere near out of the jam is Southside B Branch. Jackson Case, 386, 43 RBIs, and team high 16 extra base hits.
Well, Jackson Case steps into that left-handed batter's box with runners at second and third.
That's a good flow.
You've been about the hair this weekend.
I have been. Hey.
Is it because that you've got male pattern balding going on?
No, I have strategically placed highlights.
Okay, I didn't know.
They're called grays, but just not going bald yet.
Here's the first pitch to him. It's swung on, slapped to right field. That's going to get down. Our first run's going to score, and they're going to actually send 2 now. And 2 runs come in after that Bloop single out to right field, and Woodlawn's got a 2-0 lead.
Woodlawn was going to hold the runner Gardner at third, but as the relay throw in from the outfield came in a little lackadaisical to the second baseman that was still well beyond the brown turf, or the dirt if you want to call it that, here on the all-turf field, they went ahead and sent the runner and scored easily with no throw.
That is the 45th RBI for Jackson Case this year.
It's a little bleeder into right field. Gets the job done.
So now Garrett Cowart's at the plate. He's the catcher today for Woodlawn, and he bats .298. First pitch is inside.
He also has 37 RBIs on the season. So again, his production up and down the lineup. Not a single player in the starting 9 for Woodlawn that has less than 15 RBIs this year.
1-0's on the way, swung on and missed. One. Called a strike, and it's 1-2.
Holland did a nice job spotting that fastball. Kind of down and in at the knees. Doesn't have high-end velocity. That one at 77, but Greg Maddox taught us that it's not about velocity sometimes, it's about placement.
Very true. Here's the 1-2. Runner goes, swung on, lifted to center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Rounding second. Here comes the throw. They slide, and he's in safely. As now they're going to have runners at second and third. They saw the throw go to third, and boy, you want to talk about the aggressiveness of Woodlawn right now. They're looking for 2 extra bags every time the ball's in play.
Yeah, it's a really heads-up base running move by Cowart. Gets the single to center. The throw comes into third. He was a little late breaking for the second base bag, but does go ahead and take the extra base. And now 2 more in scoring position for the Bears.
Well, there's a reason why the Bears are 32-3 on the year. Just the aggression alone. Take away the batting averages and all the stats. Just the aggression alone that this team has had, and they've shown so far here in the first inning, just goes to show why they've been a threat in 2A baseball.
Braden Jones, the courtesy runner out at second base. The high school level, you can get a free runner for both your pitcher and your catcher. So Cowart does stay in the game, but Jones going to be your courtesy runner.
First pitch to Grace is inside, and it's 1-0.
Now, if you're Holland, you've got to find a way to keep this deficit at just 2. It's the first inning. There's a lot of baseball to be played, but you don't want to see the Bears put up a big number in this first inning.
1-0's on the way. Fastball misses inside. It's 2-0. So far, Woodlawn scored 2 runs on 3 hits. They've got runners at second and third. Fastball misses high, and it's 3-0.
JT Grace, 316, 34 RBIs, but showing a little patience here. I'll make Holland throw him a strike.
Here's a 3-0 pitch. Fastball right down Broadway, and it's 3-1.
Now he's going to be sitting dead red here. First base is open, so Holland doesn't necessarily have to give in, but if you're JT Grace, you're swinging for the fences.
Here's the 3-1. Swung on and missed.
Didn't get cheated on that cut. Good rip. Now you got to shorten up, just put the ball in play, try to get a fly ball to the outfield and get that runner home from third. He's ready to watch that one fly.
Yeah. Three balls, 2 strikes. Pitch is in there, called strike 3. He thought he walked. Our umpire today, David Coleman, said otherwise.
And pumped that one right across the inside portion of the plate and gets the call on a big second out.
Our officials today, David Coleman's behind the plate, Jason Long and John Hannon are out in the field. Now Owen Stouffer, the sophomore, comes to the plate with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. First pitch is swung and missed.
I think we're seeing Holland start to get a little confidence now. He's working with a little faster pace, even though there's runners on base. So they're playing catch with his catcher, Whit Holland.
0-1, swung on, lifted into shallow center field. The center fielder Bice is right there to make the catch and get Southside out of the inning. But not until Woodlawn scores 2 runs on 3 hits. They strand 2. We head to the bottom of the first inning. And you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
For students, it's always more fun to include the arts when you're learning. I mean, just to have expression, to see different forms of entertainment, it always just makes it more fun. And when I heard that my mother was recording different sections that teachers were gonna see, I was excited for the students who will get to use it in their classroom.
Arkansas PBS is a place where everyone can see themselves, where everyone can find themselves, where everyone can be a part of something bigger than themselves.
You can support your team and join the conversation on social media. It's easy, so you should do it a lot. Use the hashtag ARPBS Sports.
A lot of folks have been using that hashtag over the course of the softball and baseball games yesterday, and had a good one last night between Rogers and Springdale Harbor. In fact, a play at the plate to end the game, and people were using the hashtag talking about that game last night.
You're not going to find a more exciting ending than we saw to the 6A title game last night. It's 3-0 going to the top of the 7th. Harbor loads the bases with nobody out, gets 2 runs across, but a fly ball to left for the second out of the inning, and they gun him down at the plate to end the game and win Rogers' first ever state championship.
Well, so Cole Edmonds is going to make his debut in the state championship game as he's out there warming up. He'll face Connor Bice, Gus Holland, and Easton Swafford, the 1-2-3 hitters for Southside B Branch, as we talked about, come in 27-9 on the year. They've won 2 state championships. They've been in this game 6 times, all since 2005.
And if you like to follow trends, Southside, what do you do to win a title? They won one in 2007, one in 2014. 2021 would continue that trend of every 7 years.
Connor Bice now at the plate. He's a .504 hitter this year with 28 RBI and 5 home runs. As the first pitch is in there, called a strike. And once again, he's a very low strikeout guy. Bice has only struck out 4 times this year.
Put the ball in play. That's exactly what you want from your leadoff man. And he starts off, single right back up the middle.
Bobby, I think we're gonna see a lot of production out of both these lineups today. We saw how hot and aggressive Woodlawn was to start the game, but the lineup is equally as good for Southside B Branch.
Yeah, you're talking about 2 teams that have played a lot of games. Both of them played north of 30, 35 contests this year. They've honed the craft. They know what they're looking for. They know what to expect from the other squad. I think this is going to be one of the better ball games of the weekend.
Here's Gus Holland as he takes a fastball outside at 81 miles an hour. Pitch is on the way. They show bunt and try to get it down the third base line, but it goes foul.
I like what Holland did there. Right before the delivery started for Cale Edmonds, he kind of peeked down to third base to see where that third baseman was playing. Saw he was well behind the bag. He tries to drop down a bunt and get a cheap infield single, but that one just goes foul.
So 1-1's the count as we're in the bottom of the first inning. Woodlawn leads it 2-0.
He's on top of the plate.
Curveball catches the outside corner. It's 1-2.
He is on the front line of the batter's box.
1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. Here's the pitch, curveball, swung on, lifted to the left. Coming in to make the play is the left fielder, Roten. And going back, he overran it, and it's a double play.
Connor Bice didn't pick up the ball off the bat, had already rounded second base on the hit and run, and he is gunned down on the relay throw, and a great job by the Woodlawn defense to turn 2.
Yeah, Bice never saw it. He was already running. They thought the ball may get down. Great play by Roten. And then a long throw, hit the relay, and you get the double play.
Great execution there on your 9-4-3 double play.
First pitch to Easton Swafford's called a strike, and now quickly he's at the plate with 2 outs here in the first inning.
Swafford committed to play at Arkansas. Big numbers, 422, 45 RBIs, 9 homers.
He pops it up to left field. That's in shallow left. Here's Roten, and he makes the catch, and just like that, 1-2-3 go the Southside B Branch Hornets. So after 1 inning, Woodlawn leads it 2-0, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Let me take you for a ride on the baseline.
Let's go! The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
The Cherokee Nation. Our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
Hey, sports fans, get the live game stats even before we do. All you have to do is download the Engage Arkansas PBS app for your mobile device.
Well, we head to the top of the second inning. It's 2-0 between Woodlawn and Southside. R.J. Hawk with Bobby Swafford here for all the state championship action this year. And, for the Woodlawn Bears, Bobby, you look at their state tournament. They beat Yellville Summit 10-0. They beat Buffalo Island Central 12-0. And then they beat McCrory 8-4. This is a team that's been putting up some runs.
They're going to score some runs, and the trend's already continued here today, 2 in the top of the first.
First batter for Woodlawn is going to be Braden Stevens, as there will be a strike to start him off with. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2.
Holland hasn't backed down from his approach. He's going to continue to pound the strike zone. Make Woodlawn continue to put solid swings on it.
And there it is. First strikeout. Working a little bit better for Gus Holland for Southside B Branch. And there's one out now here in the top of the second.
That's pretty simple. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 3 strikeouts, 3 pitches. 3 strikeouts on the game, I should say.
Here's the pitch to Roten as it's a ball up high. Parker Roten is the 9-hole hitter playing left field today, batting .291 with 27 RBI. Here's the 1-0. Fastball called a strike outside corner. Parker Roten, a junior for this Woodlawn team. 1-1 is an off-speed pitch up high. So 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Gus Holland. The leg kick in the pitch. It gets away from Whit Holland and makes the count 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. Top of the second inning, 2-0 Woodlawn, top of Southside. Here's the 3-1. Hits the outside corner, call a strike. That's the second time in this ball game, Bobby, that outside corner's been called. And batters didn't think it was a strike, but the umpire sure did.
Yeah, Roten was halfway to first base and had to put on the brakes and head back for this full count pitch.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Got him.
It's always tough. You kind of have it in your mind that you drew a walk, then you got to come back. He called back to the box. He goes down swinging. 4 strikeouts now for Gus Holland.
Back-to-back in this inning, and now it goes back to the top of the lineup with Cale Edmonds. Edmonds back in the first inning. Got things going with a single. First pitch to him. Swung on and missed. Bobby, it looks as if Gus Holland's kind of gotten the jitters out and he's getting in a groove.
Yeah, he's starting to loosen up a little bit too. That one up to 80 miles per hour, the hardest he's thrown up to this point. He's starting to settle in nicely.
Swung on and missed. It's 0-2.
Yep, that one ran up to 81. So he's feeling pretty good. One more pitch like that, and he can get his team back in the dugout.
0-2's the count. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Came with 3 fastballs that time. Inside, came back outside. And that's going to do it for the second inning. All 3 strikeouts. We head to the bottom of the second. Woodlawn 2, Southside nothing. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Now, more than ever, community is important. Local schools, businesses, and charities are in need of support. Each one of us can make a difference. When you volunteer, give, shop locally, or simply participate, you help support and grow your community. It makes us all stronger when we all are involved. I'm Susie Everett with Everett Buick GMC. We're proud to be a part of this wonderful community and want to encourage each of you to be involved in yours.
You want to find some photographs from this game? You can download them. Just go to myarpbs.org/photos. Kai Caddy out there working hard.
So Woodlawn comes back on the field as they start the bottom of the second inning. Up for Southside B Branch will be Gage Johnson, Whit Holland, and Drew Raines, the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Gage Johnson, the first baseman, batting .388 with 36 RBI and 6 home runs so far this season. And he will get his shot at Cole Edmonds, the Woodlawn pitcher, who in the first inning recorded 2 strikeouts. Excuse me, no. Recorded 2 flyouts. Here's Johnson, swings at a curveball and fouls it off. 0-1's the count. Pitch on the way. Curveball swung on, lifted to left. That's going to fall down, and it'll be a base hit as he was headed to second, put on the brakes, fell down. Now trying to get back, he does.
Took a big turn there, able to throw on the brakes, and just did get back to first. A good throw might have gunned him down though, RJ.
and once again, Bobby, these guys, it's not like the first time they've ever played on turf before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what's going to come with the territory, and slipping and sliding out there like they've never been out here before. So Whit Holland is the catcher for Southside B Branch. He's up next, batting .419 on the year. Fastball's going to miss low. Move back to first. He got him. He's running. They're going back and forth. They get the tag, and he slid past. I say he got the tag. He wasn't paying attention over at first base.
Yeah, they missed the tag, but like we've seen already happen a couple times here today, overslid the bag, and that leadoff single to left quickly erased.
Here's the next pitch to Whit Holland. Brings the count to 2-0. Two O's on the way. Fastball caught the outside corner. Goes 2-1. Two one. Fastball. Once again catches that outside corner. It goes 2-2.
I like the aggressiveness, though, here of Edmonds. He's not afraid. Even though he gave up the leadoff single, he's still coming right at him.
2-2's fouled out of play. So far in this game, Edmonds has only thrown 16 pitches. Two balls, two strikes. Curveball swung on, chopped to third. Coming up is Manis. He makes the throw, and it's a little high, but they get the out. It's the second one here in the second. And that'll bring to the plate Drew Rains for Southside, hitting .254 with 26 RBI this year. First pitch to him. Fastball swung on and missed. Blew it by him at 83 miles an hour. Oh, one's up high, and he swings at it. It's 0-2. 0-2's on the way. Fastball, outside corner, 3 straight strikes. He's done. And that's going to do it for the second inning. 1-2-3 go the Hornets as we head to the top of the third inning. Woodlawn 2, Southside nothing. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships in Arkansas PBS Sports.
This month in Passport on the PBS video app, your on-demand library for the best of PBS.
Born a slave in Jamaica, taken from a mama. This be my story.
I hate the myth of Hemingway. The man is much more interesting than the myth.
There is no alternative to soul.
That on national TV was revolutionary.
These and other shows are available with Passport on the PBS video app. Download it today.
My name is Al Lopez, Papa Rap in the house. I live in Northwest Arkansas via Puerto Rico. Been here since 1994. Desde 94. And really, Arkansas PBS is the one that has taught me about this great community that we have here. Wonderful, beautiful, so much programming, tanta programación for children, for grown-ups. Porque es el canal de Arkansas. This is a real Arkansas channel.
In Rains Cade.
Well, it's about that time for the student athlete, the Arkansas PBS student athlete, that is. And we're going to look at the 2A baseball player, and that is Easton Welch from Hampton High School. He's a pitcher, shortstop. He's a senior with a 4.02 ERA, planning to go to Southern Arkansas and Magnolia this fall on a football scholarship and major in kinesiology. So congratulations to Easton Welch, who is our student athlete of the year in baseball. Well, Woodlawn comes back to the plate as they will have their 2-3-4 hitters up with Ethan Gardner leading things off. Here's the first pitch to him as it's a called strike on that outside corner, and Gardner was hit by a pitch back in the first inning and later came around to score. One's on the way. Check swing, and it says he went, so it's 0-2.
Holland has really settled in on the mound. Kind of has an interesting pre-pitch routine. Backs up about 10 feet behind the pitcher's mound before each toss to the plate. But he's starting to deal it right now. Struck out the side in the second.
0-2's on the way. Swung on and missed.
Go ahead and make that 4 straight Ks.
He is rolling right now. It's 4 straight, 6 total. That brings up Jaden Manis. And really, Bobby, if you think about it, of all these batters, yeah, they've scored 2 runs, got 3 hits so far, but Manis has really been his toughest opponent at the plate so far.
Yeah. Well, you're exactly right. Fouled off 6 or 7 pitches. Did eventually go down on strikes, but really made him work.
First pitch to him. Swung on and fouled back. No balls, 1 strike. Top of the 3rd. That's a call and strike at the knees. At 81 miles an hour, it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Gus Holland with the sign. Here's the leg kick and the pitch. Swung on out to short. Picked up by Swafford, thrown over, and it's the 2nd out here in the 3rd. And that'll bring up Jackson Case now, who singled to right field back in the 1st inning. It was an RBI, or 2 RBI single back in the 1st inning.
All right, shortstop number 20, Jackson Case.
First pitch to him. Fastball misses low and away. The dimensions here in Benton at the Everett Field, down the lines is 320, gaps are 355, and straightaway center 375. Curveball misses high and in. Brings the count to 2-0. Bobby, you know, one thing that we saw last night, you think the power alleys are really deep. We saw one clear that 355 last night.
It banged off the production truck in left center as Holland pumps another one across. You know, there's not a lot of winds. We've got the football stadium behind us that might block any additional wind. The trees well beyond the outfield. I think if you get a ball up, I think it'll carry.
Yeah, for sure. 2-1s on the way. Call and strike on the outside corner. It's 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Gus Holland. That's going to do it for the top of the 3rd inning. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Southside's trying to get on the board. They trail 2-0. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Sports is so important to this state and the fabric of the state, and I appreciate Arkansas PBS doing all the state title games, and that makes it available for not just the fans in Central Arkansas, South Arkansas, but fans around the entire state. I can only think of the kids in small towns, and this is the biggest moment maybe in their sports careers, and they have that keepsake of having that game on TV to have with them the rest of their lives.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. At Big Red Stores, we're always proud to sponsor, support, and partner up with many events and activities throughout the community. Among them, high school championships throughout the state of Arkansas. At Big Red Stores, our team members are always ready to assist you to make your visit with us a pleasant one. And at Big Red Stores, we recognize that none of our support or ability to serve the community is possible without you. That's why at Big Red Stores, you're always the MVP of the Big Red team. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever.
Play ball. You can win the full Ken Burns Landmark Series baseball DVD set by signing up to receive our newsletter. All you have to do is go to myarpbs.org/signup.
Back here in the bottom of the third inning for Southside B Branch, they're going to have their 7, 8, 9 hitters up with Parker Hutchins, Baylor Hall, and Ryan Matchett. And Hutchins on the year is batting .357 with 30 RBI. He's had 4 doubles this year. He'll start things off for Southside B Branch, taking on Cole Edmonds.
B Branch has had a couple base runners on the path, but Cale Edmonds has still faced the minimum. One erased by a double play, another one erased trying to swipe a bag.
So the left fielder Hutchins stands in. Fastball misses high and tight. Talked about it before. There's a really good crowd on hand. This is probably one of the largest we've had. As there's a shot in the gap between short and third, and he'll be able to leg this one out for an infield base hit.
It's a great play, though, by Jaden Manus at third to knock that one down. An attempt to get a throw, but just not enough on it as Hutchins legs out the infield single.
So that brings up Baylor Hall now. By the way, that's the third base hit for Southside B Branch. Hall comes in batting 159. He's going to show bunt. Pulls back, goes back to the right side for a pickoff move, and it's back safely. He's got a really good pickoff move. We've already seen he picked off one player so far. Tries at it again. Here's the bunt attempt as fouled it back. And Baylor Hall, he almost just was like trying to get out of the way of that one.
Yeah. It's a big spot. You saw it pop up when he came to play, just a freshman. So young guy, big stage. Just asked to do a job here, lay down a bunt.
0-1's the count. Here's the bunt opportunity as he put it out there and fouled it off. 0-2. Runner at first base is Hutchins. Here's the 0-2 as he was able to foul off that bunt, and he's out.
Yeah, they're going to say it hit him in the box, and that's going to be strike 3, and can't get the job done. Goes down as a strikeout in the old box score.
Now Ryan Matchett's up, the 9-hole hitter, playing second base today. Batting .207 on the year.
Yeah, just bounced up and hit him.
As the first pitch hits the dirt, 1-0.
Another freshman, his matchup, second baseman.
Here's the 1-0, and it's going to hit him. Hit him right. It hit him in the chest. Usually, as a freshman, you will learn as time goes on to turn into that one.
Yeah. Might get him on the back arm just a bit, but he'll take it either way. A lot of youth for Southside B Branch. Swafford, the Arkansas commit, just a junior. Catcher, Holland, a sophomore.
Well, so now Southside B Branch gets back to the top of the lineup with Connor Bice, who got a single to right field back in the first inning. Southside trails by 2 here in the third inning. We'll go with a pick-off move back to second. I will say this, Cole Edmonds has some really good moves to first and second.
Does.
One out here in the third inning. Pitches a changeup in there called a strike.
Nice job to go off speed there to Bice here in this third inning.
0-1's on the way. Change up, back up the box. Going to step it on second, get over to first, and he's safe. He dropped the ball. They say he dropped the ball, and so now you've got runners on the corners, but Bice got tripped up, and he looks like he needs a breather. That was a close play. If you look back on that replay, Bobby, that they just showed, he dropped it, picked it back up, but it was almost a bang-bang play.
Now, Gus Holland has a chance to help his own cause. Runners on the corners, 2 outs.
So Holland, he flied to left field back in the first inning. And he's got a chance to put a runner on the board.
And these are those situations, RJ, that you, as a team, you need to take advantage of. They gave you an extra out by not completing the double play. If you're Southside B Branch, find a way to scrape across a run here.
First pitch to him. Curveball in there, called a strike. Here's the 0-1. Up high and outside, 1-1.
That bat has seen some wear and tear.
Yeah, it has.
That's called finding a weapon that you like and is using it till you wear it out. 364, 18 extra base hits for Holland this season.
Here's the 1-1, swung on, foul tipped into the glove, it's 1-2. This has been the most productive inning as far as getting runners on the base pass for Southside B Branch, because in innings 1 and 2, they went 1, 2, 3 in order.
Yeah, they've had some base runners, just haven't been able to take advantage of it.
Here's the 1-2, up high, 2-2. And now they had some confusion in the field and got a stolen base out of the deal. They were sending Bice to second base, and Woodlawn was not having any piece of it because they knew that there was a runner at third, and they didn't want that runner to come in and try to score.
See that a lot more in softball than you do in baseball. You try to draw the throw down to second and get a cheap run. As you mentioned, Woodlawn not having it. Let's concede the base.
Here's the 2-2. Curveball swung on into left field. That'll score 1 run. They're going to try to send him. Here comes the play at the plate. They're going to score 2 runs. We've got a tie ball game.
Throw airmails at the catcher from left field, and a 2 RBI single for the pitcher. Gus Holland helps himself out, and all of a sudden, RJ, we are knotted up at 2 apiece.
Great situational hitting that time by Gus Holland, as he was able to get a base hit right in the gap between short and third and get 2 RBI out of the deal. So now you've got Easton Swafford at the plate, who flied to the left back in the first inning. Can potentially add to this run.
They're going to put him on intentionally. And I was talking with Coach Jeffrey Ligon earlier this week, and he said his star shortstop, future college player, had to learn a lot of patience, because he saw that a ton this year, over 40 walks drawn this season. And it's just something that, he hasn't had to deal with in the past, but just a junior, he's going to have to learn that teams are going to make everybody else beat them, and they're not going to let a team's #1 player beat him with the bat.
So now Gage Johnson is at the plate. He got a base hit to left back in the second inning. Johnson's got 6 home runs this year. Here's the first pitch to him. Fastball below the knees, called a ball. And when you go back to Easton Swafford, as we've talked about, he's going to Arkansas. He's had 9 home runs this year with 45 RBI. Here's the 1-0, swung on, chopped to third. Gonna try to get the tag, but they throw it across, and that's gonna do it. 5-3 on the putout, but not until Southside scores 2 runs in the inning. They pick up a couple hits, leave a couple batters on the bags, and we head to the top of the fourth inning. We've got a tie ball game, 2-2, and you're watching it all right here on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Baseball, the most watched series in PBS history, is coming home.
There he goes.
See how baseball became our national pastime and why this Ken Burns series remains an American classic.
Sign up for our newsletter to be entered to win the entire Ken Burns baseball series on DVD.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
We never gonna stop.
Back here in Benton as we are in the top of the fourth inning. 2-2's our score. And got things all knotted back up for the Woodlawn Bears and Southside Hornets. Southside took the lead in hits, 4-3, and got a brand new ball game.
Without you, Arkansas PBS would not even be possible. Consider becoming a member to support Arkansas high school sports today. You can do so. Just go to myarpbs.org/donate.
By the way, I'm totally going off script. I know CJ is going to kill me for doing this, but I highly encourage people to go download the Arkansas PBS app because I got that during football when I was not able to be on one of the broadcasts. And if you're in your car, want to find out what's going on with the broadcast, get that app. You can watch it on the app.
You were a passenger in that car, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, you don't text and drive. I mean, are you crazy?
There's two things you don't do while driving.
No.
Texting and eat tacos.
Yeah, well,
They're both dangerous.
First pitch is in there to Cowart, and it's 1-0.
I say that. Random story a long time ago, my Fort Smith days. Just got off work and was having some dinner on the way home from work, and I made a mess, and I got pulled over.
Second pitch is fouled out of play.
So the gentleman police officer from Fort Smith America says, "Sir, we've been drinking." I was like, "No, I was actually trying to eat a taco." And he goes like, "Sir, don't drive and eat tacos." So
1-1's the count. Was the taco good?
I mean, I wore half of it. That's why I got pulled over.
Inside, called a ball. You know, my wife always, when we go on these vacations and stuff, she hates stopping. She wants to just eat in the car and drive. And I said, you know, it's almost impossible if you're going to eat like a burger or something with fries or in my case, I like to get a salad as it goes up top, 3-1. It's really hard to eat in the car and drive all at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's hard enough to drive.
Well, I mean,
for a lot of people, you included.
Here's the 3-1. Sails high and he's going to walk him.
First walk issued on the day for Holland. We'll see a courtesy runner come in.
So now JT Grace is going to be at the plate. He struck out back in the first inning.
Again, that's Braden Jones over at first, running for the catcher.
Here's the first pitch inside. This is for a ball. Two balls, two strikes. Or excuse me, 1 ball, no strikes. I was looking at the runs. Here you go, as it's now a strike. It's 1-1. 2 runs for Woodlawn, 2 for Southside. Woodlawn scored their 2 runs back in the first inning. Southside got theirs last inning in the third. Kickoff move over to first. He's back safely, easily. JT Grace with 34 RBI this year. One. Bounces off the catcher's leg and actually got off his.
Yeah, I think that got.
I think
on the back knee.
Yeah. So another hit by pitch, and you've got runners at first and second.
Holland had really settled in nicely in the second and third inning. Sat down 6 in a row, including 8 in a row going back to that first inning, but got himself in a little trouble. Thanks to a walk and a hit batter.
Now a bunt opportunity for Owen Stover as a 78-mile-an-hour fastball came in there that time, makes it 1-0. Goes back to bunt, makes it 2-0.
You know, this is where, as a pitcher, it's difficult in your head, so you don't want to give an easy pitch to get down as a bunt, but also you don't want to walk him. So, sometimes just take the out if they're willing to give it up.
Here's a 2-0. Curveball in there, called a strike.
It's a really good pitch there. Bottom of the zone. Bends it in there, clear take all the way from Stover.
Two balls, one strike, as runners are at first and second. Hits the dirt, makes it 3-1. Slight breeze blowing now here in Benton as it's going from right to left field. Here's the 3-1. Fastball, catches that inside corner to make it full. Be big to get a strikeout right here.
All 3 Woodlawn hits came back in the first inning. They're threatening here.
Here's the 3-2. Curveball swung on and missed. Got him.
Really big strikeout there for Gus Holland. He's now up to 6 Ks on the day.
So now it sets you up to where you could potentially get a double play with runners at first and second, but you've got Braden Stevens at the plate, who struck out back in the second inning.
Pitch count set in at 67 for Holland, so he's settled in a little bit, but that number is certainly something we need to pay attention to moving forward. Again, they can only throw 110.
First pitch to Stevens is in there, called a strike at the knees.
Well, Braden Stevens hitting 229, but Coach Tommy Richardson said that he played really, really well in the state tournament, swinging a hot bat coming in this state tournament.
Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2. We've seen when Gus Holland's gotten in a jam, he's come back with his off-speed stuff. His curveball's really gotten him out of a lot of situations. Here's the 0-2. Fastball that time. Swung on and missed. 78 miles an hour, and it's 2 outs now.
Really big back-to-back strikeouts there for Holland. And he almost has a different mindset when he gets 2 runners on. He just really settles in and stops worrying about the base runners and just focuses on playing catch with his brother behind the plate. 8 Ks now.
Think about the amount of work they get to get in together. You've got the pitcher and the catcher that go home together. They can work around the backyard. As Parker Roten's at the plate. He struck out back in the second. First pitch is a called strike outside corner. 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. Oh, 1's up top.
Broughton 27 RBIs in the 9-hole. So we've talked about it a few times. They've got production 1 through 9, 291 average.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Came with a fastball at 78. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Off speed. Got him swinging.
The big breaker there. He goes from 80 on the fastball to 67 on that breaker. He gets the swing and miss. Strikes out 3 in a row to get himself out of the jam, RJ.
He's striking them out, throwing them out today as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Tie ball game 2-2, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships in Arkansas PBS Sports.
Hi, I'm Logan Duval.
And I'm Lauren McCullough, and we are pleased to represent Arkansas PBS as the host of these first installments of the new segment series, Good Roots.
Good Roots will explore the culture and innovation of small towns across the state of Arkansas. Tune in for Arkansas Week or find us online.
You know, I think sports are really big to a lot of people, and because it's an important part of our fabric in our community. And the one good thing about what I've seen is it's high quality production. You know, you think of the small communities all over Arkansas, it's a big deal that they can turn on the TV or DVR or whatever and know they're going to get a quality product. And so I think it just expands the focus of what PBS is doing. You know, Arkansas PBS is doing a great job, and I think it's part of education.
Back here at Everett Field in Benton, 2-2's our score between Woodlawn and Southside. R.J. Hawk along with Bobby Swafford, as it's a 2A state title game between Woodlawn and Southside. Been a pretty good game so far, Bobby.
It has been, and we expected it. You know, early Woodlawn struck first in that first inning, took advantage of a little erratic pitching from Southside B Branch Gus Holland. Scratch across 2, but Holland settled in, and now the B Branch bats have kind of started to come to life of late. They've got a chance to tack on a couple more here, maybe get something going after scoring 2 in the 3rd.
2 runs on 3 hits for Woodlawn, 2 runs on 4 hits for Southside as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. So due up for Southside, they will have Whit Holland and Drew Raines, the 5-6 hitters, along with number 7 hitter Parker Hutchins. Well, first up is Drew Holland, the catcher, as a called strikes to be on the outside corner. Came with an 81-mile-an-hour fastball.
You can tell, too, when close games start to hit the middle innings like we are here, things start to get a little tense. You can just kind of feel it in the ballpark. You can say, you know, early innings, everybody's excited to be here. Everybody's, you know, pumped for every at-bat. But now things are getting a little more stressful for the moms and dads and the brothers and sisters and friends in the bleachers.
1-1 pitch was low, and it's called a 2-1. And one thing you noticed is you saw Woodlawn playing very loose in that first inning, and not so much since then.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with the way that Holland has been pitching.
2-1 is a check swing that's fouled back. Even count at 2-2.
You know, on the flip side of things, you could say that B Branch was really tight in the first inning, and they've really settled down offensively and defensively. Because you can go back to that very first batter of the game, a good throw to first might have got him out. Instead, it led to a big inning.
Curveball swung on out to short. Case is there, makes the throw. It's good, and it's 6-3 on the putout.
Nice solid play there by Case. Ranging a bit to his left. Makes the play.
So that brings up Drew Raines now, who struck out back in the second inning. Raines a .258 hitter this year with 26 RBI. First pitch is swung on and missed.
82 from Edmonds there. Reached back and found an extra mile an hour. Been topped out at 81 up to this point.
0-1 is up high. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, fouled back.
Six RBIs on the season for Raines.
There's the 1-2. Curveball swung on, slapped to right field. We're cut off by the second baseman. What a play. JT Grace was able to range to his left, do a little pirouette in the dirt, and throw him out.
Nice job by Raines. Makes the throw from a Tukas. Gets the second out of the inning.
So up next is Parker Hutchins, who got a base hit, an infield base hit back in the third, and he'll start off with a strike. Fastball in there low, it's 1-1. Going back to that play by JT Grace. I mean, he had a range a long way to knock that one down. Here's a fastball pumped in there at 82 that time, and it's 1-2 now. One, two. In there, called strike three. Got him on the outside. And just like that, we got a pitcher's duel going on here in Benton. 1, 2, 3, go the Hornets. We head to the top of the fifth inning, where the Woodlawn Bears are back at the top of their lineup. And you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car, to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
This past year has felt like a marathon in many ways, with each of us working to reach the finish line. We are happy we can make this journey together. Arkansas PBS is over halfway to our goal of adding 3,000 members by June 30th. If we succeed, we receive $21,000 from our Ambassador Circle. If you're not yet a member, you can help us reach the finish line. Call or go online today.
Voodoo Child's been getting a lot of run lately. Summer heat calls for cool treats like ice cream, great burgers, and other local favorites. Discover some of the best in Arkansas dairy bars, neat eats, and cool treats. It premieres this summer. See the complete schedule and set reminders at myarpbs.org/schedule.
You know, there's a really cool dairy bar just down the street from here. As the first pitch into Cale Edmonds comes in. You know, in between games, I may take you over there. It's called the Salem Dairy Bar. It's literally probably a mile from here.
I mean, I'm not one to say no to.
It's pretty awesome.
Sweet eats and cool treats.
Here's the 1-0, and that's in there, called a strike. It's the 1, 2, 3 in the order for Woodlawn as Edmonds is up first. One's on the way. It's up top.
Holland up to 9 strikeouts in the contest. He's now at the pitch count of 77. Really settled in nicely.
2 balls, 1 strike. It's a little high. It's 3-1. Just underway here in the top of the 5th inning. Tie ball game 2-2. As Gus Hollins on the mound, delivers the 3-1. And it's a strike. Came with the fastball. Inside corner, brings the count 3-2.
You know, the velocity's not there. You know, he's upper 70s, may touch 80. But, I mean, he's really touching his spots really nicely.
Yeah.
Well, just one walk issued up to this point.
Here's 3-2. Swung on and missed. Came with a curveball.
That shows you the confidence he has, too, in his own stuff to come with a breaking ball on a full count.
So that brings up the number 2 hitter, Ethan Gardner, who struck out back in the 3rd and was hit by a pitch, who later came around to score in the 1st. One out, top of the 5th inning. Swung on and missed. Well, that foul tipped in the dirt anyways. Gus Holland has a sign. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, looped in the left field. That'll be down as Hutchins comes up with it. And that'll be a base hit for Ethan Gardner. And that for Woodlawn is the first base hit that they've had since the 1st inning. And that'll bring up Jaden Manis.
Yeah, the only base runners they've had since the 1st inning came back in the previous inning in the 4th, a hit batter and a walk.
So Manis with a runner at first is 0 for 2 on the day, grounded out to short back in the 3rd and struck out in the 1st. Swung on out to 3rd. Nice grab by the 3rd baseman, Drew Raines. Runner's going to advance, but that was a heck of a snag by Drew Raines. It was a rocket right at him.
Yeah. Might have had a chance to get the lead runner, but he go ahead and gets the sure out, fires it across to 1st, but that was a missile off the bat of Manis. And he's hit a couple hard, but leading hitter for this Woodlawn team's now 0 for 3.
So now Jackson Case is at the plate. He had a 2 RBI single back in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. Runners at 2nd now for Woodlawn. I have a little meeting on the mound after Gus Holland is taking a little bit more time to think this one over.
Yeah. Runner in scoring position now. Case has already touched him up for a 2-run single, as you mentioned. He's got 45 RBIs on the year. Big spot for both Case and Holland.
Here's the first pitch to Case. Swung on, popped up on the infield. First base side to Johnson, and he'll snag it for the 3rd out. So for Woodlawn in the 5th, they get 1 hit, no runs. They strand 1. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
I think it's important for Arkansas PBS to have sports because it provides sports on a greater platform to the entire community. And it also gives people in various other communities an opportunity to see other schools and other athletes and to have a greater appreciation for not just their own community, but the sports that are available across the state of Arkansas. There are so many lessons that sports provides, and it's one of the reasons why it's so important to the next generation of athletes coming up.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider, from aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family-owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports. John's Honda, your hometown dealer for sales and service of Honda motorcycles, ATVs, Honda generators, and Honda lawnmowers. Family owned and operated since 1967, John's Honda offers factory certified technicians and experienced sales staff.
Experience the action over and over and over again. You can do it next week and watch all the state championship games on youtube.com/Arkansas PBS. First year we've done the baseball and softball finals. You can find the past games for football, basketball going back. Is this year number 3 or 4 for us? The state finals here at PBS.
I think this is number 3. Yeah. But I will say that I can't, every year the folks here at Arkansas PBS, they add a sport to what they want to do. So I can't wait till they have you call soccer next year.
I'm here for it. Granted, baseball's going to be going on at the same time, so we may have to put you at soccer.
I'm a man of many talents, but that is one that I don't know much about.
Well,
I can do the whole goal.
We had some interesting conversations last night. You want to have some conversations during the soccer match happen?
Oh,
we could talk about a lot in the 80 minutes.
We could get into what's going on with ancient aliens on.
That's right.
Here's the first pitch inside or into the 8-hole hitter, Baylor Hall.
We've talked a lot about Holland for Southside B Branch and how well he's pitching. I think Cale Edmonds is worth talking about as well, this right-handed pitcher for Woodlawn. Giving up just 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts, has not issued a free pass yet.
1-1's up high, it's 2-1.
His stuff's not overpowering. Not a, buckle the knees breaking ball, but he's hitting his spots, making Southside B Branch try to put it in play, and more times than not, he's coming up on the winning end of it.
Here's the 2-1. Fastball in there, called a strike.
And that's really all you ask as far as your coaching staff and as a teammate. Just get somebody on there who's going to throw strikes and not hand the game away.
Yeah.
And Edmonds has done exactly that.
Here's the 2-2. Fastball call on the outside corner. And it's another strikeout for Edmonds. First out here in the 5th, and that brings up Ryan Matchett.
It's 4 Ks now for Edmonds.
Here's the first pitch to Matchett in there, called a strike.
And I like what he's doing here, the bottom half of the inning. Just attacking the bottom of the inning, but also the bottom of the lineup. Just throwing strikes, make them swing the bat.
Here's the 0-1, and it brings to 0-2. O2's on the way. Swung on, slap foul on the right field side.
Matchett's a little behind that fastball. I don't see any reason if you're Edmonds to throw anything but it. Make him try to catch up with you. See the signal there. Asking for the fastball up.
0-2 slap foul. Right off the foot. By the way, just got a text message from my good friend Chris Babb down at Washita. He said he can't wait to hear you do soccer.
If I need to, the key is you have to have a goal call of at least 11 seconds.
At least, yes. 1-2's on the way. Swung on right back at the pitcher. Edmonds.
Nice job, though, by Matchett. Caught up with that fastball. Just a little unlucky. Hit it right back from where it came. But really good contact from the 9-hole hitter.
So 2 outs here in the 5th. As Connor Bice is back up, they go to the top of the lineup. First pitch to Bice is up high, 1-0. Bice got on because of the fielder's choice in the 3rd and then had a single back in the 1st inning.
What you want from your leadoff man, be on base twice in the first 3 innings.
Swung on a miss. Curveball came in there nicely.
That was a good bender there. There's nothing but fastballs for the bottom of the lineup. Mix things up for the top of the order.
Like they say in soccer, bend it like Beckham. Here's the 1-1. Called a strike outside corner, 1-2.
How many times in a soccer match do you think you would use that term?
I would use it literally every time. Anytime that it was curved in there, I definitely would use it. 1-2, swung on, lifted to left, base hit.
On base all 3 times. His bias got a pair of singles. And now Holland, who's got 2 RBIs for Southside B Branch, has a chance to give himself a lead if he can find one in the gap.
So with 2 outs here in the 5th inning, Gus Holland comes to the plate. And Holland, well, we've got a pick move, but the runner was able to get all the way over to second, and there was nobody there, and he lost some baggage along the way, but nice aggressive base running by Connor Bice.
Yep. Pickoff attempt couldn't be handled by Stover over at first. Bice, a heads-up play, swipes the extra bag, but again, he overshoots it, but able to get back on second base before the tag is applied. So now a runner in scoring position for Holland.
You know, and I think we've talked about it quite a bit throughout the first couple games of this tournament, but here's the first pitch. It's a called strike. I would right now give the award for the best hair team to Woodlawn.
You know, Harbor last night, they had a lot of kids with the bleach blonde hair going for the gold look for the gold championship.
Here's the 0-1. Inside, called a strike. But the long manes that some of these players have for Woodlawn is impressive.
Yeah, Jackson Case, the shortstop's got a nice head of lettuce.
Here's the 0-2. Swung on right back at Edmonds. He's having to work, and he's going to step on the bag. He does it with authority. And we are done with 5. We are headed to the 6th inning. Tie ball game 2-2 between Woodlawn and Southside. And you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships in Arkansas PBS Sports.
Baseball, the most watched series in PBS history, is coming home.
There he goes.
See how baseball became our national pastime and why this Ken Burns series remains an American classic.
Sign up for our newsletter to be entered to win the entire Ken Burns baseball series on DVD.
You want a DVD copy of this title game or any other championship game? Go to M&M Productions to place your order. That's mmproductions.net.
Now, this is going to be one you want to hold on for a long time because it's been a good ball game so far. 2-2 between Woodlawn and Southside B Branch here in the 2A state title game. And due up for the Woodlawn Bears, they will have their 5, 6, 7 hitters up in Garrett Cowart, J.T. Grace, and Owen Stover. So Cowart's at the plate. As the first pitch to him is going to be swung on and missed.
Since RJ's on his soccer kick, we might as well update you from the 6A Girls State Championship game that's going on about 35 yards behind us. The Fayetteville Lady Purple Dogs have a 3-0 lead on Bentonville West. 10 minutes left.
0-1. Fastball called a strike. 0-2.
So Fayetteville on the verge of captured another crown.
You know, I would like to be more well-versed in soccer. I don't know how to go about doing that.
Just watch it.
Well, got that. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, fouled back. I just don't know, like, all the
There's really only one rule that you have to know, and that's the offsides. And if
don't
you
touch it with your hands.
And, well, that too. But if you can figure out the offside rule, 1, you probably have a PhD. And 2, you figured out the game of soccer.
Because see, if we did, like, here's the 0-2, and it bounces away. Now, see, if we had, like, high school hockey, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I could do it all day long. But I'm going to have to rely on you and Scott to do
it's essentially
soccer.
What the offside rule in soccer in the Cliff Notes version. It prevents snowbirding. It prevents you from just hanging out back by the goal.
Kind of like LeBron in the NBA, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
See, I'm correlating the two.
Yes.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on, fouled off.
So the forward most offensive player cannot be behind the forward most defensive player without the ball.
See, why can't it be just cut and dry like baseball?
Well, you know.
Man stands at second. Man stands at short. Stay in the box to hit. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, found out of play. You know, up in your part of the world, Northwest Arkansas, Carlos Chicas does a heck of a job on the soccer.
He does.
I've listened to some of those. I don't know what's going on, but I listened to it, and I'm like, this is amazing. Does a great job. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Struck out.
Holland even dropped down a little 3/4 sidearm action with that one. Changed the arm angle. Gets a strike out of Cowart.
By the way, I just was texted this by Mason, who's in our truck, right? Says that, you know, we've got the NFHS network, right? That's doing the soccer games currently. Carlos Chicas is actually doing the games over there.
Bingo.
There we go. See, whoever's in charge of that, they know what's up. They knew who to go get.
Nice.
So there's one out now here in the 6th as JT Grace is at the plate. As he'll take first pitch strike.
Holland now at 92 pitches. So he's got 18 to play with. Don't know if he's going to be able to finish it off through 7 innings, but he's done a heck of a job on the mound. Pitch count not really a factor on the other end for Edmonds.
Here's the 0-1. Curveball up top. 1-1. Top of the 6th inning. 1-1's our count to JT Grace. He made a great play last inning in the field. 1-1's a strike. Let's count to 1-2.
11 Ks for Holland. Looking for number 12 here.
He is starting to creep up there in that pitch count right now as he's got 94 pitches so far here in the game. Here's the 1-2, or he was going to, and then it was time called at the plate. One-two swung on, lifted to left, and it's going to go well foul.
Nice job there by Grace to get the hands in and turn on that baseball, but turned on it a bit too much. That one goes well foul, but he stays alive with a 1-2 count.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Gus Holland firing the 1-2. In there, called strike 3. He's called that all day. It's been a great pitch for Gus Holland.
12 Ks now for Holland. He is another out from working a 5th straight clean inning.
You know, there's nothing better to see than seeing a pitcher identify the zone perfectly with the umpire. And literally, Gus Holland has thrown that pitch over and over, and it's been a strike every single time.
Yeah, he's really had good command. Just 1 hit batter, 1 walk.
So now Owen Stover's at the plate with 2 outs here in the 6th. First pitch is fouled back.
And the one thing he's done a majority of the afternoon is work from ahead. You know, very few times has he fallen behind in the count and given up a hitter's pitch, making Woodlawn work for everything they've gotten, really since the 3rd batter of the game.
There's the 0-1. Swung on, popped up in the foul territory, and it'll bounce right in front of the Woodlawn dugout.
Long way to run for Gage Johnson, the first baseman. Couldn't pick him up and put him down fast enough to get over and make that play.
So it's 0-2 now to Owen Stover. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball, strike 3.
There's that same pitch. That same pitch you talked about, RJ. Strikes out the side for the 3rd time in the last 4 innings, and Gus Holland is straight dealing.
That he is. So we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 2, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For information regarding COVID-19 vaccine clinic locations, call the Arkansas Department of Health Vaccine Clinic Call Center at 1-800-985-6030.
Now, more than ever, community is important. Local schools, businesses, and charities are in need of support. Each one of us can make a difference. When you volunteer, give, shop locally, or simply participate, you help support and grow your community. It makes us all stronger when we all are involved. I'm Susie Everett with Everett Buick GMC. We're proud to be a part of this wonderful community and want to encourage each of you to be involved in yours.
Let me take you for a ride on the baseline.
What's up, gang? You want to check out the stats as the game goes along? All you have to do is download the Engage Arkansas PBS app for your mobile device. Do that right now, and you'll see that Gus Holland for Southside B Branch has 14 strikeouts compared to just 1 walk. On the other side of things, Kel Edmonds, 4 Ks for Woodlawn, only 1 issue base on balls. Really, really good pitching matchup in this 2A state title game.
So Southside B Branch is back at the plate, and they will have their 2, 3, 4 hitters up with Gus Holland, Easton Swafford, and Gage Johnston. So
issued an intentional walk his last time up.
Yeah. And Swafford's going to rope one into center, and he'll be on with a base hit.
Almost made that look easy. Last name like that, you know you're a baller. Again, no relation.
How many times, I was wondering how many times you'd say that.
I mean, I think we have to clarify it because it would not be good journalism practice if I'm calling my brother's game, which he's not my brother or cousin.
Would it not? I mean, I don't think you'd be I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that as the
No, I'd probably actually be harder on him.
First one would be at 0-1. I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you called a family member's name, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you weren't, like, cheerleading for him on TV.
No, agreed.
As the first one's over.
Just knowing how I generally treat my nephews, like if they could hit a home run, I was like, okay, why didn't you hit it farther?
See, that's just wrong.
Well, you know, you expect more.
Here's the 0-1. Change up in there, called a strike.
Kind of like when a coach has their own child on their team.
Yeah.
You got to coach them up a little harder. Been there, done that.
Here's the 0-2. Change up. Strike 3.
Not coached my own team, child, but I've been coached by my father.
Was he hard on you?
Oh, yeah. Is that a joke?
But it made you better,
It
though.
did. No, absolutely.
You were an All-American offensive lineman at UCA?
Not quite.
Well, okay. You were an offensive lineman
I
at
was
UCA.
the offensive lineman at UCA. That's correct.
Leave the All-American off. Here's the first pitch to Whit Holland.
.419 average, 39 RBIs for the catcher. Does have a good move to first. He's 72 pitches through 5 1/3 innings of work for Cale Edmonds. He's worked quickly, worked effectively.
Here's the 1-0. Swung on, fouled off.
Kept his defense active behind him. They've been up to the task. Just charged with one error. Can't recall when that one happened.
So the 1-1's a curveball, called a strike.
Yeah, a little backdoor breaker there. Too late, kind of backed up on him. Holland wasn't expecting it. Now he's behind in the count.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it is. Runner goes. Swung on. Missed. We'll tag him out. And Easton Swafford's going to head into second base.
Swafford swipes second. But now with 2 outs, he is in scoring position for Drew Raines. He's going to take a 2-out base hit to give B Branch a chance to take the lead.
So Drew Raines on the day is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. First pitch to him is fastball on the outside corner.
83 on the in-stadium radar.
Fouled off, it's 0-2. I have a feeling, Bobby, that if you get anything into the outfield,
he's gone.
They're going home.
Yeah, they're going to make you throw him out.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
If Raines is able to get anything over the heads of the infield, Swafford is probably coming home.
Yeah, they forced a throw earlier in the game on a 2-run single from Gus Holland. The throw was well off the mark.
Swung on, chopped to third. Make the long throw. And it's in there for the 3rd out. So for Southside Batesville, they send 4 to the plate. 1 gets on with a base hit, but no runs scored. We head to the 7th. 2-2's our score, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships in Arkansas PBS Sports.
The Arkansas Citizens Access Network gives you a front row seat to your state government. Live stream board and commission meetings, press conferences, legislative proceedings, and more. Events are also archived for 30 days. Receive updates right on your phone by texting ARCAN to 313131. Be informed and get involved at myarkansaspbs.org/ARCAN.
Blimey.
Quite something, isn't it?
Watch entire seasons of your favorite shows from Masterpiece.
Well, one thing is clear.
Time is not on our side. With Passport on the PBS video app. Binge your favorite and the latest shows from our huge collection of dramas.
I'm looking forward to all sorts of things.
Oh, how exciting.
Or catch up on episodes you've missed.
Go on then, what are you waiting for?
Downton is catching up with the times we live in.
These and other Masterpiece shows are available with Passport on the PBS video app. Download it today.
Learn more about the issues that impact our state with our long-running public affairs program, Arkansas Week. Airs Fridays at 7:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 10 a.m. right here on Arkansas PBS.
Okay, as we start the 7th inning, the Southside B Branch Hornets are going to have Gus Holland out there to try to close this thing down. But Woodlawn's got some other thoughts as Braden Stevens comes to the plate. It'll be 8-9-1 on the lineup. So Braden Stevens, Parker Roten, and Cale Edmonds. Here's the first pitch to Stevens. It's called strike.
Now, one thing we got to pay attention to, RJ, that was pitch number 100 for Gus Holland. AAA rule states you can throw 110 pitches before you have to be taken out of the game. Now, pitch 110, if it happens during an at-bat, that pitcher is allowed to finish the at-bat as he pumps another one across for a strike. He can finish that at-bat. but he had to be taken out after that batter. So 9 pitches to spare for Gus Holland, who's got 14 strikeouts.
0-2's the count. And that's swung on, and
he's not wasting any of these pitches.
No, he's at 102 with another strikeout. By the way, he was at 14 strikeouts. That makes 15. Now Parker Roten is going to be at the plate. Roten has struck out twice today.
7, 8, 9 for Woodlawn's been set down now 7 times.
First pitch is a bit inside. It's 1-0.
So I know the thought process here for Coach Ligon and for Holland, somehow get to a batter with 2 outs before you hit number 110.
Swung on, 1-1.
So he's going to throw nothing but strikes. Try to get to the top of that order.
He's at 104 pitches now. Here's the 1-1. Curveball swung on and fouled off. It's 1-2. So far for Woodlawn, 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error. Southside is 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors.
If we put a pedometer on Holland, I bet he's walked about 3 miles behind the mound.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Wandering around between pitches.
Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on, fouled back.
But it works. He's a good look at it. Goes back, collects himself, back to the mound. Getting his steps in for the day.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Off speed, fouled off.
Good job of staying alive by Roten.
So basically right now, if you're Southside B Branch, you need them to get Roten out right now because
in the next 2 pitches.
Yeah, within the next 2 pitches in order so he can start on the next batter.
Correct.
And Roten's sitting there thinking, nope, I'm going to keep fouling some of these things off. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout, 16.
That's exactly what they wanted. If you're Southside B Branch, you get your star pitcher with 16 strikeouts at least to start the at-bat with Edmonds. This is likely going to be his final batter faced unless it's a 1-pitch out.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you get a 1-pitch out, then he comes back for 1 more if we have extra innings.
Either way, a heck of a performance from Gus Holland.
Yeah.
We'll have to pull up the record book and see what the number is for strikeouts in a championship game, but he's got to be up there.
First pitch is a curveball in there, called a strike. Outside of the first inning, he is just dominated.
Yep. When he got to about batter number 5 or 6, as he settled in, and he is just pumping it across the plate.
0-1 is low. Count 1-1.
And the velocity hasn't dipped. He hasn't lost command.
And, you know, he's not, as far as size-wise, he's not a big kid.
Nope.
But, boy, he's pumping it in there. Here's the 1-1. And hits him. And his day will be done.
I know he's going to be disappointed with how his day is going to finish, but really, really good performance here from Gus Holland.
So now Tommy Richardson, Jeffrey Ligon's going to make his way out and pull Gus Holland from the ball game. And when we come back, we will have the new pitchers. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
You know, I think sports are really big to a lot of people. And because it's an important part of our fabric and our community. And the one good thing about what I've seen is it's high quality production. You know, you think of the small communities all over Arkansas, it's a big deal that they can turn on the TV or DVR or whatever and know they're going to get a quality product. And so I think it just expands the focus of what PBS is doing. You know, Arkansas PBS is doing a great job, and I think it's part of education.
Well, they haven't officially gotten the new pitcher yet for Southside.
Holland has done it all. You see the numbers there, 16 strikeouts, just 1 walk. He drove in the 2 runs for the B-Branch offense. Got to take off all the tape there on the mound. That's what we're waiting on for the relief pitcher. And Coach Ligon said Easton Swafford would be a possibility.
I mean, he's got a ton of tape on.
Yep.
Taping up those wrists. The new pitcher for B-Branch is going to be Connor Bice, the center fielder. So Connor Bice comes in, senior center fielder, now pitcher. And that'll put Gus Holland into center field. So as they get some warm up, I tell you, Bobby, you makes you wonder as far as just complete domination that Gus Holland had earlier in this ball game. Now you're in the final inning essentially. You've got 1 out to get. Bice has to come in and just throw strikes.
Right, you got to throw strikes. Granted, this is the teeth of the order. Number 2 coming up. You don't want to just lay something over the plate, but they played so well defensively.
Yeah.
Pitched so well to Holland. You'd hate to see it slip away. So just come in, throw strikes. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to match how good Holland was. Pitch your game and just try to get this 1 out and get your offense a chance to come up in the bottom of the 7th to win it.
But going back to what Holland did, I know we've talked about 16 Ks in this ball game. Not enough has been said. I know we talked about it a lot this inning, but he has just really done a great job commanding this really potent offense that Woodlawn has.
He really is, but now Woodlawn has new life because they weathered the storm of the starting pitching. Now they've gotten to the bullpen, and now that they probably are thinking to themselves, hey, we got a chance to go out here and win this game.
Well, now we're back to action as for Woodlawn at the plate is going to be Ethan Gardner, their 2-hole hitter. Runner at first base. First pitch, runner goes, curveball. They're going to throw down, and that's going to sail the shortstop, and the runner Edmonds is going to get in easily.
Instantly put pressure on Bice. Runner in scoring position. Now you're going to have to change up the signs. Big spot for Ethan Gardner. He's got 25 RBIs on the season.
So the 1-0 pitch. He's on the way. Here it is. It's outside to go 2-0. Bice this year, 18 innings pitched. He's 1-0 so far. He's had 30 strikeouts, only 10 walks. Got an ERA of 2.33 as he looks back to second.
His 13th appearance of the season, so he does have some experience in relief.
3-0. Ball to strike outside corner. 3-1.
In case you're wondering what the championship record is, Jimmy Bradford had 18 strikeouts and 6 1/3 innings of work. So he struck out 18 of the 19 batters he retired in 1973. Pine Bluff versus Greenwood.
3-1 up top. And so he's going to walk him. So now you've got runners at first and second. as Jordan Manis comes to the plate. Manis is 0 for 3 on the day. Struck out back in the first, grounded to short, grounded to third and the fifth.
Now Holland had success against Manis, but leading hitter for this Woodlawn team, 63 RBIs, average well over 500. Comes up in a huge spot.
Curveball, right side. Both runners are going to advance.
A wild pitch now got 2 in scoring position, and one thing we got to pay attention to now, RJ, another wild pitch could allow the leading run to score.
Knows the count. 2 outs. Pitch on the way. Swung on, popped up. Back behind home plate. Looking to make the catch. And Bice came in and called off his catcher.
No communication there. As a center fielder, you're used to having control of it. He tried to make the play, but he and his catcher collided. Neither one could make the play. Tough break there for Southside B Branch. These are those opportunities, RJ. I've mentioned that if you get new life, you get an extra chance to score runs. You've got to take advantage.
So it's 1-1. We're in the top of the 7th. Two outs, top of the 7th. Runners at second and third. Bice with the 1-1. Up high.
First base is now open, so he doesn't have to concede anything here to Manis. But Jackson Case, who had a 2-run single back in the first, waiting on deck.
Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. It's 2-2.
Swung right through that 77-mile-an-hour fastball.
Manis, as I said, 0 for 3 on the day. He's the number 3 hole hitter for Woodlawn. Here's the 2-2.
Great job to lay off that pitch by Manis. You mentioned he only struck out now 5 times this season, including 1 today. Good patience at the plate, not to give in even on a 2-2 count.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Here's the pitch, swung on, out to short. Picks it up, throws it across for the 3rd out. Swafford gets it done. And we're headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. Southside has a chance to win this ball game in the bottom of the 7th, and you're watching it right here on Arkansas PBS Sports.
We never gonna stop.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
John's Honda, your hometown dealer for sales and service of Honda motorcycles, ATVs, Honda generators, and Honda lawnmowers. Family owned and operated since 1967, John's Honda offers factory-certified technicians and experienced sales staff.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Riggs Rents, Arkansas's rental equipment provider, from aerial lifts to dirt moving machines and everything in between. Our family owned and operated business takes pride in serving our employees and customers. Riggs Rents, a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports.
If you couldn't make it to the game, Arkansas PBS now offers more ways to view the action on demand. All you have to go is youtube.com/Arkansas PBS.
Well, we are in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Southside B Branch has a chance to try to win this thing here in the 7th as we've got a tie ball game, 2-2. You see the box score right there. Woodlawn scored their 2 in the 1st inning. B Branch got theirs in the 3rd. And nobody's done anything since then because it's been a pitcher's duel ever since that point. But back on the mound for Woodlawn is going to be Cole Edmonds. He's only pitched 79 pitches so far in this game. We saw where Gus Holland had to leave because he had reached that pitch count by AAA regulations. So really Cole Edmonds got a ways to go and can stay out there for a little bit longer.
Yes.
But either way, you've got Parker Hutchins for Southside B Branch. It's the 7, 8, 9 hitters. As the first pitch misses inside.
Edmonds got 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk. He did a nice job commanding the zone. Much like Holland on the other side, just one heck of an inning.
1-0's fouled back. It's even up 1-1.
Giving up 6 hits. Got to remember, one of those walks is actually intentional. The only walk.
1-1. Up high. 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Just underway here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitch on the way and fouled back. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, missed. So now that brings up Baylor Hall now, who's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. First pitch is up high, 1-0.
Big spot here for the bottom of the lineup for Southside B Branch, and you've got 2 freshmen. One Baylor Hall here. Next up going to be Ryan Matchett. Talking about being thrown into the fire.
Next one is called a strike. Hall is a 159 hitter this year, hitting that 8-hole. Second one's up top, 2-1. Ryan Matchett is on deck for Southside B Branch. Here's the 2-1. Low and outside, it's 3-1.
Last thing you want to do is give up a free base. Edmonds just needs to relax, make him earn it.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's going to be called a strike, outside corner.
That's a good pitch there on the outer third.
Three and 2 now. Here it is. Swung on and missed.
Fall behind in the count, 3-1, but Edmonds battles back and gets strikeout number 8. His pitch count is now at 90.
So Ryan Matchett is at the plate. Matchett has been hit by a pitch, and he lined out to the pitcher back in the 5th. First one to him is a called strike. Here's the 1-0. That's fouled back. 0-2. Cole Edmonds now at 93 pitches for the game. 0-2. Fouled off. You know, really the best thing the bottom of this order can do is just make him keep throwing pitches.
That's right. Just battle it back, and you can tell Edmonds is in attack mode. He's not wanting to waste pitches, does not want to see the top of the lineup come back to bat.
0-2, called strike 3. Edmonds comes in. 1, 2, 3, all strikeouts. So we got a little extra baseball going on today. We're headed to the top of the 8th inning. Woodlawn 2, Southside B Branch 2, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships in Arkansas, PBS Sports.
Baseball, the most watched series in PBS history, is coming home.
There he goes.
See how baseball became our national pastime and why this Ken Burns series remains an American classic.
Sign up for our newsletter to be entered to win the entire Ken Burns baseball series on DVD.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it. At Big Red Stores, we're always proud to sponsor, support, and partner up with many events and activities throughout the community. Among them, high school championships throughout the state of Arkansas. At Big Red Stores, our team members are always ready to assist you to make your visit with us a pleasant one. And at Big Red Stores, we recognize that none of our support or ability to serve the community is possible without you. That's why at Big Red Stores, you're always the MVP of the Big Red team. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever.
1, 2, 3, turn up! Whoa. Who's going up in here? Let's go!
Connor Bice comes back out to start the 8th for the Southside B Branch Hornets, as the Woodlawn Bears will have the 4, 5, 6 hitters up in Jackson Case, Garrett Cowart, and JT Grace. Here's the first pitch, as it'll be a fastball that misses outside to Jackson Case.
It's worth noting Woodlawn has not put together multiple hits in an inning since the first.
1-0. Misses outside, and it's 2-0.
Did have multiple base runners in the 4th and the 7th innings, but couldn't push one across.
2 balls, no strikes, and it gets in there to go 3-0. Excuse me, 2-1. So it counts 2-2 now. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed.
Great job by Bice to battle back there, not give in to Case. Oh, everyone said it's just strike 2, though.
Yeah, they had the scoreboard messed up on. It's the count's actually 3-2.
Well, messed that one up. Did I on my scorebook?
Here's the 3-2. It's fouled off. I had it. See, I had it right in my book, and
sure you did.
I did.
Sure
and
you did.
Everybody was looking at me, going, "Why you got it messed up?" Just saying. You just always go with your own scorebook. Then you don't have to rely on anybody else.
Well, my scorebook's not wrong, so I'll
it's
go by mine.
It's not hard to run a scorebook. Here's the 3-2. Swung on, fouled off. Top of the 8th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 balls, 2 strikes, excuse me. And now we've got time at the plate. Woodlawn 2, Southside 2. Here's the 3-2. Curveball. Misses. He's going to walk.
It's a close pitch there, but Bice doesn't get the benefit of the call. Case draws a leadoff walk.
By the way, there's been so many numbers put on the scoreboard today, it's being a little delayed. So nobody one person's fault.
Never.
It just got sent over to us from the press box. Wasn't calling anybody out. I'm just saying I had it right on my book. So now that brings up JT Grace, who Grace is 0 for 2, and he got hit by a pitch today. And here's one that sails to the back of the backstop, but that's going to advance Cowart to second base.
Now the second straight inning, Woodlawn's got a runner in scoring position.
Ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch, it's up high. 2-0. Two O's on the way. Here's a popped up bunt.
Trying to play a little small ball is Woodlawn. Try to get the go-ahead run over to third with just one out is the idea here.
2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Puts up a popped up bunt to third. He missed it. He missed it, and the runner kind of stopped running. Now everybody's safe.
Didn't look it into the gloves.
Drew Raines was coming up. It was a short pop up at third, and Raines, I think, took his eye off of it and was seeing where the runner was and missed it altogether.
Big break there for Coward. He kind of chopped at the bunt. Didn't let the ball travel. Pops it up to third. You can see there, just took his eye off it at the last moment. It stays fair. First and second after the error.
So that brings up the 7-hole hitter, Owen Stover now. He's going to bunt. Gets it down. They throw over to first and misses it. Here comes the run. Woodlawn gets 1 run in. Brings in the second. The ball's going to be thrown all the way in. 2-run score. And for Stover, he's going to get all the way to third. It was a bunt that he put down. Indecision by Bice got him all the way to third after the error.
Grace gets the bunt down. The throw goes down the right field line. 3-base error. And more importantly, 2 runs come in to score. Bice was a bit indecisive with the baseball after he picked it up off the bunt. Thought he was going to go to second. By the time he had to go to first, had to put a little extra on it. It sails over the first baseman's head, and Woodlawn has stolen all momentum from this contest.
And so now Braden Stevens is at the plate. Excuse me, no, that's going to be Owen Stover's going to be at the plate. So Stover on the day has struck out twice and flied to center field back at the first. First pitch is called strike. Runner at third. Base hit into center field. That's going to score a run. It gets past the center fielder. He's going to keep running. Stover around second. Around third, but he'll stop at third with the triple.
Might have had a chance to send him as the relay throw is well beyond second base, but Woodlawn settles for the 3-base. RBI for Stover. That's 3 runs here in the top of the 8th.
And now Braden Stevens comes up. Still no outs here in the top of the 8th. Curveball swung on and missed.
Triple, or excuse me, an error on the center fielder.
No balls, 1 strike to Braden Stevens. As he pumps a fastball in for the second strike, it's 0-2. There's been 3 errors so far, or 2 errors so far in this inning. 0-2 swung on, missed. He'll be tagged out. That's the first out here in the 8th.
First strikeout for Bice. 17th strikeout as a team. But those 2 errors, as you just mentioned, RJ, they're the difference right now. 3 runs have come across for Woodlawn.
So Parker Roten is going to be at the plate. Curveball swung on, fouled off. Oh, one's on the way. Swung on, popped up. Shallow center field. And the shortstop Swafford's there to get it for the second out.
It's actually 3 errors this inning. Pop up to the third baseman wasn't caught.
That's right, you're right.
Throwing error by the pitcher, then the fielding error by the center fielder.
Yeah.
2 outs, though. B Branch, they want a chance to rally. They've got to find a way to strand that runner at third.
So now that brings us back to the top of the lineup to Cole Edmonds. And first pitch is going to be called a ball. One is on the way, curveball up high. As it counts 2-0.
You know, Cale Edmonds is the guy who's just been a workhorse on the mounds, thrown 94 pitches. Thought he might have had a chance to be a tough luck loser, but now he has a chance to not only add to a 3-run lead, but maybe finish this off in the bottom of the 8th himself on the mound.
2-0 pitch is a strike to bring it to 2-1. Two outs, top of the 8th. Woodlawn scored 3 so far. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, fouled back. 2-2. Here's Bice was looking at it, and then he decided to step off the mound and recollect himself. Here's the 2-2. Curveball swung on and foul tipped it in the dirt.
Just stays alive, does Edmonds. 1 for 4 today, .317 average on the season.
Here's the 2-2. Up high. We'll take things full at 3-2. Three-two curveball in there.
Great
strike
pitch.
3.
What a good pitch there to get out of that inning.
So at the end of the top of the 8th inning, Woodlawn strikes with 3 runs in the inning. 3 errors by Southside. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning where Southside can either try to tie or win the ball game. And you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships in Arkansas PBS Sports.
Throughout the years of exploring Arkansas, we've taken you to quite a few awe-inspiring places, mainly as seen at ground level. But exploring all those natural wonders and iconic landmarks takes on a whole new exhilarating perspective from a bird's-eye view. Welcome to Exploring Arkansas from Above. We'll showcase the natural state like never before. Join us for the high adventure in 2021.
Baseball, the most watched series in PBS history, is coming home.
There he goes.
See how baseball became our national pastime and why this Ken Burns series remains an American classic.
Sign up for our newsletter to be entered to win the entire Ken Burns baseball series on DVD.
Well, we are headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Edmonds is finally out of the game. They brought in Garner now to pitch for Woodlawn. And Ethan Gardner is the new pitcher for the Bears to try to close this thing down.
Final line for Edmonds. He's in line for the victory. 9 strikeouts, just 1 walk. Gave up 2 runs on 6 hits. Pretty good day for Edmonds. In line for the victory if Gardner can close this one out. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, the champion here, congrats to the Fayetteville Lady Bulldogs, just captured a 6A girls soccer championship right here behind us in Benton.
Don't forget, we've got softball action coming up later today, as well as soccer action. The 6A softball game between Conway and Bentonville will be right here on Arkansas PBS. That'll be at 1 o'clock today. And then we'll have baseball again at 4 o'clock. It'll be the 3A baseball game between Walnut Ridge and Harding Academy. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning.
So Edmonds stays in the game. He goes to shortstop. The shortstop, Jackson Case, moves over to second base.
And for Southside B Branch, they're going to be back to the top of the lineup with Connor Bice.
And Ethan Gardner comes in from center, so we've got a new center fielder as well.
First pitch is up top, 1-0. Pitch swung on outside. It's got to 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Fastball misses outside, 2-1. Two ones on the way. Curveball swung on, popped up, left field. Over into foul territory. They're going to slide and don't quite get to it.
It's a long way to run for Roten. Can't track that one down. Counts now even at 2-2.
Connor Bice. We talked about it. He, on the season, hitting .504 in that leadoff spot. Here's the 2-2. Sail outside and go full at 3-2.
If you're Bice, you just got to find a way to get on. A walk's just good as a knock here. Not going to say his run means nothing, but they need base runners.
Here it is, swung on, popped up, sky high into foul territory, third base side. And the catch is made by Manis.
It's a big first out for Woodlawn. Retire the leadoff hitter Bice. Been on base 3 times already this afternoon. Now Gus Holland trying to save his day on the mound. He pitched well enough to get a win. It's going to take some work.
Holland had a single earlier, an 2 RBI single. Curveball's in there, called strike.
Holland stands on top of the plate. You can see his elbow and hands are hovering over the plate. Well, that curveball just bends right over his body, right into the strike zone.
Here's the 0-1. Curveball. Oh, it hit him on his elbow.
Well, they're going to call him back. He called it a strike. That was right down the middle. And he was hovering over the plate. Even if they said it did hit him, he hit him in the strike zone. Holland tries to pick up a freebie there.
I thought it. I mean, watch the replay here. Yeah.
He stuck his arm out, tried to get hit, but it's a strike.
Yeah.
If we see the wide angle of that, I mean, that is right down the middle of the plate. Holland just tried to steal one, and The home plate umpires having none of it.
So 0-2's the count. Here it is. Swung on and fouled back. Here's the 0-2. Curveball. We're going to call him out. There's 2 now.
Tried to check a swing but couldn't hold up, and Gardner's got a good-looking breaking ball, and Woodlawn's 1 out away from yet another state championship for their squad and Coach Tommy Richardson.
So Easton Swafford will be going to the University of Arkansas to play baseball. Is at the plate. First pitch inside, called a ball. One-0 pitch on the way. Curveball swung on, lifted back into center field. Swafford's, he has just found a way to get on base.
Yep, intentional walk, 2 singles back up the middle. 4.22 average coming into this one, just a junior. So he'll be back next year. He's a really good ball player. Obviously, you don't get an SEC offer if you're not an elite high school player. Swafford's got all the tools.
Now that brings up Gage Johnston. First pitch is up high.
Johnson second on the team, 6 homers. What the Hornets need are base runners.
1 ball, no strikes. Swung on, fouled back. So 1 ball, 1 strike now for Gage Johnston. Whit Hollins up next. Runner at first is Swafford. Here's the 1-1. Curveball, misses high. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike now to Johnston. Two-one, swung on, fouled out of play.
Find a way to extend this game if you're Johnston. Got to put a barrel on it.
You see the Woodlawn fans starting to get on their feet.
As good as the bender's been for Gardner, I'd be surprised if anything other than the hook comes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Swung on, fouled out of play.
Change speeds on him, went change up. Just 67 miles an hour on that one. Trying to sneak one past him. Left it too high in the zone though.
Gonna do it over again. 2-2. Curveball, strike 3. Woodlawn, they are your Class 2A state champions. Your final score in this one, 5-2 in 8 innings. And Woodlawn is the state champions, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
for the second season of Blueberry's Clubhouse. We'll see a whole new crop of friends for the very best adventures in Arkansas.
Stay connected to your public media network. Text ARPBS to 313131 to receive the latest updates. Message and data rates may apply.
The Woodlawn Bears are your 2021 Class 2A state champions as they win this one 5-2 over Southside B Branch. And Bobby Swafford, I tell you, this was a heck of a game. Pitchers duel all the way through this one. And the game changed when the pressure, it seemed like, got to the relief of Southside B Branch.
It did. The starting pitching was so good for B Branch with Gus Holland. 16 strikeouts, second most ever in a state championship game, we believe, and just dealing. But, you know, Woodlawn just couldn't figure anything out after the first inning against Holland. As soon as they got to the bullpen, I think you see the nerves got to B Branch. They couldn't make the I'm going to call them the routine plays, the pop up to third base with the air, the throw to first, another air, a single to center field, didn't take a good angle, another air, all in that top of the 8th inning. 3-run score, 3 errors were committed. Not taking anything away from Woodlawn. They obviously earned this game. They played very, very well, but they got a lot of help in that 8th inning.
Yeah, and that was a tough inning for Southside B Branch. And look, you can't take anything away from Woodlawn, though. I mean, these guys, they just fought and clawed, and the pitching performance that they had was outstanding in this one. And it was just overall just a great baseball game.
It really was. I mean, they didn't let Swafford beat them.
Yeah.
That's really what it came down to. They didn't let the best player on the field beat them. Even though it's going to the SEC, and you see Woodlawn capture state championship number 7, all with Coach Tommy Richardson, all since 2008. Pretty impressive what they've been able to build there with the Bears program. But the way that Cale Edmonds pitched today, came through at the plate as well, there's a reason he's about to get that MVP plaque.
Final stats for the ball game for Woodlawn. Edmonds went 1 for 4. Ethan Garner went 1 for 2. Jackson Case 1 for 3 with 2 RBI. And then Owen Stover 1 for 4 with an RBI. And this one, pitching, Cale Edmonds, 7 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. He faced 25 batters. For Southside B Branch, Gus Holland went 6 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 16 strikeouts. He faced 24. And leading the way offensively for B Branch, you had Gus Holland 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. For B Branch, Connor Bice went 2 for 4 at the plate. Easton Swafford went 2 for 4 at the plate as well. Looks like your MVP is right there for Woodlawn. It is Edmonds after the impressive tournament he has had as well as today's ball game. He is your MVP. We owe you one more break, and when we come back, we'll wrap this thing up as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
You know, I think sports are really big to a lot of people, and because it's an important part of our fabric in our community. And the one good thing about what I've seen is it's high quality production. You know, you think of the small communities all over Arkansas, it's a big deal that they can turn on the TV or DVR or whatever and know they're going to get a quality product. And so I think it just expands the focus of what PBS is doing. You know, Arkansas PBS is doing a great job, and I think it's part of education.
This past year has felt like a marathon in many ways, with each of us working to reach the finish line. We are happy we can make this journey together. Arkansas PBS is over halfway to our goal of adding 3,000 members by June 30th. If we succeed, we receive $21,000 from our Ambassador Circle. If you're not yet a member, you can help us reach the finish line. Call or go online today.
And we're wrapping things up here at the baseball field where Woodlawn wins it 5-2 over Southside B Branch to claim another state championship. And Bobby Swafford, a lot of fun. But we've still got a lot more action between this afternoon and then tomorrow.
That's right. We're only halfway done here at the baseball park. Softball, soccer going on around us. Conway versus Bentonville and the 6A softball championship coming up at 1 o'clock. It's going to be a lot of good baseball, softball, soccer included, and a lot of hardware handed out the next 72 hours
For
or so.
sure. Don't want to miss any of the action. Make sure you stick to right here to Arkansas PBS. We've got softball action coming up, but baseball action will be again at 4 o'clock this afternoon with a 3A baseball game, Walnut Ridge and Harding Academy. But until then, your final in this one, Woodlawn defeats Southside B Branch 5-2 to claim the 2A state championship game. You've been watching State Championship Baseball on Arkansas PBS Sports.